Hello, welcome. Welcome to Australia, welcome to Australian Book Travels, and welcome to our book recommendations for this week. I hope you've all been well. I hope you have been reading if you so wish, whether, as I say, if it's a page or a paragraph or a whole book or books, so long as you have been enjoying them. Perhaps doing a bit of gardening or cooking or eating, it's always nice, or travelling, whatever you're doing. I hope you have had a lovely week or a lovely few days since I saw you or you saw me last. I'm going to hop straight into it today. It's a ghastly day. It is cloudy. It is raining. It's a little bit just drizzly. It's a bit drizzly, which we need. We definitely need it here in central Victoria, but it just makes for a very dull day. Okay, I have a few for you today. I'm just looking at the books. You know that I don't like to be negative. I don't want this place to be negative, but we have to look at books honestly. And this week, unfortunately, I've had a bit of a not very nice read. Let me explain. We have a few books. We will start with the one that I'm not particularly fond of at all, and we'll go down to all the other books that I really love. So we'll start off not very pleasant, but then we'll get into the books that are great, and we'll finish on a good note. Okay, this first book I bought locally, brand new, and the reason why I bought it was for you. Because the subject matter really interested me. I thought it would be something that we could explore together. We could discuss that it's something different, so long as it wasn't too horrid. Because it's a very it's not all nice. The topic is not a really nice one, but it's not. It could have been a really informative one, but that wasn't the case. Let me explain. So this is the other reason I bought this book was because it's an Australian author, and I thought that would interest a lot of you. I know a lot of you ask about Australian authors. So I thought that was good, and I love the cover to boot. So I thought, well, this is great. This is, although it's a very sensitive subject, that's the word I'm looking for. It's a very sensitive subject, but I thought, look, it's necessary. We all have to address these things or be aware of them. And it was in a memoir form, plus it was an Australian author, and it had a great cover. So I thought, right, I'm buying that and I will read it and we'll discuss it. Here it is. This is Australian author Mary Garden, My Father's Suitcase. Now, I thought it looked really interesting. It is a memoir. Sorry, everyone. I am going to have to put my glasses on. Sorry. This is by Justicia Books. And it is, I think it was this year or 2024. It was first published. So that's this year. This is a memoir of, actually Mary Garden is, she was born in New Zealand. And she has many years ago, I don't know, she's probably been here, she's now I think in her 70s or 80s. So she has been here probably 30 or 40 years. And I guess she would call her, or we would call her an Australian author, perhaps, or an Australian New Zealander. Or is that a New Zealand Australian? Either way. It's a memoir. Mary's father was apparently a well-known aviator in New Zealand. Now, this is, I'll give you the blurb. It's a story of family secrets, abuse, betrayal, and breaking free. Sibling relationships are the longest lasting relationship in most people's lives. They are not always loving and can become fraught or even toxic. This deeply personal and heartbreaking memoir explores the troubled relationship between Mary Garden and her younger sister Anna, and so it goes on. I was really, in a way, looking forward to reading this. I thought that it was an interesting topic. It was a topic that not many people discuss, and so I thought it would be really good to get it at the front of this and read it and discuss it and get it out there. Now, yes, I was looking forward, in a way, to reading it, and it began okay. It didn't read well. Apparently Mary has written other books. She's written a book about her father and some other books. And I'm surprised, actually, because it didn't read well. From my point of view, you may think different if you have read this or if you're wanting to read it. Let me know what you think, because my opinion is it did not read well. It was quite disjointed in parts. There seemed to be, on 2 occasions, a discrepancy in what she was saying in one chapter to the next. And eventually, I was going to put it down. I just couldn't read any more of it. I just thought, no, this is not what I was thinking it would be. To me, it just appeared a real gripe against her family. Yes, a dysfunctional family, and it is a very serious topic. I'm not saying that it wasn't the topic that put me off. It was the writing. It just seemed a really big gripe against her family. And the first thing that really put me off is she compared herself, or not necessarily compared, let me explain again. She claims she named one of her children William, and that when she found out Prince Harry had been bullied and abused by his brother William, she wanted to change the name of her son. Now, I just found that astonishing to make that claim. Where did she get the information that Harry was bullied and abused by his brother William? Only by one book and sensational media. That book and the contents in it, and the not the ghostwriter, but the alleged originator of all that information, Prince Harry himself, it has been shown that there are so many holes and not many truths in that book. I don't understand how you would, as an intelligent person, make that connection. And it just, look, that was the first thing that I just thought, oh, you're making that connection. That doesn't seem right to me. Then it went on, and it was just as I say, I was going to probably about halfway through, I thought, I really have had enough of this book. But I pursued it because I thought, no, perhaps I'm not reading it correctly, and also I wanted to let you know. I didn't want to say I'd given up, but I really didn't like it. Otherwise, it may have improved. It may have changed. Mary does, throughout the book, give some statistics on sibling bullying, and that's great. That makes people aware, and it was backing up some of her claims, I guess. Not necessarily her claims, but definitely claims that there is such a thing as really domestic abuse between siblings, or can be. The other thing that I found was that all the way through it, she constantly talks about how people thought she was so pretty as a young girl, and that her sister wasn't. And that her sister was clearly jealous because she was so pretty. She's even quoted some letters that she has written to other people and people have written to her, which I find astounding because not many people keep their letters. Some do, that's true. But then she has obtained those letters from other people to quote in the book, that the letters that she has written. I couldn't quite grasp why, and to some extent what relevance some of those letters had anyway. I have to say, I did not like this book. It could have been a great book. It could have been really interesting and informative, but overall I found it just a really big whinge fest against her family. Constantly throughout the book, she is asking the reader why her mother or her aunt or her brother didn't give her the sympathy that was she felt she deserved. And in fact, even well, she says sympathy, but I think she also means the support. I really did not enjoy this book. I really did not like it. Unfortunately, I paid full price for it, and I'm regretting that. I'm sorry to say it could have been a good book. It wasn't, and that is all I need to say on that. It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't my. Like I say, it's not the topic. The topic would have been and was really piqued my interest, but it was the way it was written. And, this sympathy card constantly. There was no direction for the reader on how to perhaps negotiate any sibling rivalry or any bullying that you may experience. It was just a constant complaint about her family, and all of them were against her. At one point, she does acknowledge that in one of the books that she has previously written, her brother and sister were going to take legal action against her for defamation, I think it was. And yeah, I can see why. It was a shocking book. Okay, on now to, I needed to tell you that because not all books are fantastic. Not all books are you going to like. I did not like that at all, and I'll be glad if I, never pick it up again. But you may read it and say, what is your problem? This is really informative, or it's it's cathartic for her as the author, and I understand that. But it wasn't informative, or it didn't improve my knowledge base or my life. It was really not good. So, all of that negativity now gone, we will get on to better things. Many of you may have heard of Edward Marston. He is a Welsh writer in the UK. He writes a lot of fiction, and it's normally detective fiction. He has a number of genres or story bases. Oh, that's got a little bit of it's got a bit of dust or something on it. He has these doomsday books. They're full of mystery. I have 3 of them. There are, I think, about 8 in the series. He then also has a detective series to do with the railways. And then he has the Bow Street Mysteries. These are just examples of the books. There are about, sometimes between 5 and I think 10 per series. He has overall written about 70 or 80 books, I think. I don't have it here, but he does also write a detective series based on ocean liners. He's a really good writer. Look, these are from the Doomsday, as I say, and they're not C.J. Sansom or Alison Weir or S.J. Paris. They're not full of historical content. It is really just about the people and the story and the mystery. So don't read these books thinking that you're going to get a lot of history as we do with C.J. Sansom or S.J. Paris. They are great books, and they do give you a bit of an insight in the 1100s they're based. But They are, they're just not full of historical content. They are a really good detective series, as is the series on the railways. The ocean liners I don't have. I am thinking about buying them and reading them, but of course, if you've been watching the channel for a while, you all know that I absolutely love history and I love trains. I love train rides and railways, and this is a great series, a really good series. This, as I say, this is the Bow Street series. This is the first one, I think, actually. This one's set in 1800. This one is also set in the late 1800s, and of course these are the Doomsday 1100s. So they're really, I recommend. Look, they're not. Like I say, they're not. I cannot equate them to C.J. Sansom or S.J. Paris in terms of the historical content, but they are a really good detective. All of them, these series. As I can't speak on behalf of the Ocean Liner series, I don't have them. But these, the Bow Street, the Railway, and the Doomsday are all really good reads, and I recommend you grab one, try one, and see what you think. Particularly if you are, if you really enjoy detective series, detective crime, the crime series. What am I trying to say? Detective novels, crime. If you enjoy that. Speaking of crime, I have read an old book of Anne Cleeves, A Lesson in Dying. And now, I should go back actually, I am rushing it a little bit. These are by Allen and Busby, I think, from my Allison and Busby. I always say Allen, I don't know why I do that. It's Allison and Busby. And these are they range, but they've all most of them have been written in the 2000s. They've published and written in the 2000s. So they're really good. So this one is Macmillan, A Lesson in Dying, Anne Cleeves. Now this is a really old one. Most of us would know Anne Cleeves from Shetland and the writer of the Vera series, and also the other. What's the other series? Two Rivers, the Two River series. This was written in, I think, 1999, 2000, and it is the Inspector Ramsay. This is the beginning of the Inspector Ramsay series. There's only two, actually, I think, 2 or 3 in the series. But I read this. This has been recently published. It was published in 1999, but this is a new one out. And the second in the series too. Can't remember the name of it. Lesson in Dying, and the second one, maybe it'll have it on here. Anyway, let me just have a look for you. I do like to have these. No, it's not going to tell me. Oh, maybe it will. No, it's not. Oh, yes, Murder in My Backyard. That's the second one in this series. This was really good. I didn't read it when it first came out. I've only just read it, and I really enjoyed it. I thought the Anne Cleeves is really good with her writing. I absolutely love the Vera series in both writing and the TV series. Shetland, of course, absolutely love the novels. Absolutely adore the TV series. Anne Cleeves has. She writes really good and strong characters, and not always faultless. Believable, really believable characters. I enjoyed this. This one is set in a school, and around in the village around the school. It's very interesting and intriguing. I think you'll like it. I recommend it. It's a great one. But it is an oldie. It's just been released in this new format. And I really love, I don't know if you can see that, but I do really love the covers. I think that's the artwork on that is wonderful. As are Edward Marsden's. I really like his artwork as well. Okay, the last one for today, because it is Monday and I do want to get this up and loaded for you for this afternoon. So I am being quick about this, not taking up too much of your time. You all know I love cooking, particularly if you've been watching the channel for a while. I absolutely adore growing my own food and cooking and baking. I haven't done a lot of it lately. I have been busy with the channel, but I really enjoy it. It is, for me, it is, it's soothing. It soothes me, as well as reading. I could think of nothing better than cooking in the morning, reading in the afternoon. But anyway, I am also a vegetarian and have been for a long time. This is a book by Jeremy Fox. Now, this has got a few little marks on it because I think I told you a few weeks ago when I cook and the books are in amongst it when I'm looking at recipes and following recipes. So it will have a few little marks on it, and I do apologise, but they are well-loved books and well-used. So this is Jeremy Fox by Faden on vegetables. Now, you may all say, oh yes, well we cook vegetables, you roast them, you steam them, you boil them, mash them, do whatever. But this is just another playing field altogether. Jeremy, he shows you, well, there's some beautiful photos for starters, but he shows you how best to make the most out of the ingredients, out of the vegetables and the accompanying ingredients. The recipes in here are simple, but sometimes there are things where you just would not have thought to put one ingredient with another. I recommend it. They make for an extremely tasty meal. There's ice cream, vanilla ice cream with nasturtium flowers. So it's all about making the most of the plant, not just the typical vegetable, but even with myself, when I use a vegetable or when I use a herb, I use the whole of it. So perhaps before we use the carrots that we dig up, I may use the leaf first and get the most out of it. So I may use that in a salad, or I may just add it in a soup. And then when the carrots are ready, you dig them up and use the carrot. So that's what, I'll put these back on, that's what Jeremy suggests in here, that you use everything. And even as you're growing the vegetables too, if any of you grow your vegetables, you'll know, if you're growing a lettuce, you don't pick the whole lettuce out and then put it in your fridge. To keep it fresh, and in fact to keep a longevity of the vegetable, you use just literally the ingredients that you need. So if you only need 4 lettuce leaves, just use 4 lettuce leaves. Just pick them off. Now, I know not all of us can do that. Even now I go to the greengrocer and buy the vegetables, and you buy them in their entirety. But it is something to remember that when you are growing your own, or if you can, or if you wish to grow your own, that you don't pick the whole vegetable. You leave it in the ground, and then you just take literally the ingredients that you need. So it may be 4 lettuce leaves, or it may be just 1 carrot. But look, he in his recipes here, he not only gives you all of the beautiful herbs and spices, but nuts too. Which nuts are best with which vegetable, whether that be in a salad or if it's in perhaps a homemade vegetable burger. This is really, I recommend this. As I say, when you look and you say, oh, well, it's all about vegetables, I can cook my own vegetables. This is just another level. It is absolutely beautiful. And, the cheeses, which cheese to go with which vegetable, yeah, they're just beautiful. And he gives you, he also gives you sweets, slices and cakes and things, ice cream, as we just saw. It really is a lovely book. So I recommend it. This is Faden, as I say, it's Jeremy Fox on vegetables. I recommend it. It's a great book. So if you're a cook and you're looking at something different to do with the vegetables, as either a main meal or accompanying a main meal if you eat fish or chicken or red meat. It's a great book and I recommend it. Okay, that is it for today. I'm hoping that this is just a short one for you. I'm hoping that you may have been interested or excited by any of these. And Cleaves, A Lesson in Dying, if you haven't read that, it is a really good one. And it is one of only 2 or 3 in this Inspector Ramsay series, from my memory. The Edward Marsden, he has an abundance of different series. One is the Bow Street, the other one is on railways. I do love the railways. They're really good series. And the one that I was first introduced to, Edward Marsden, as the Doomsday. These are fantastic. And he does, as I say, he does have a detective series on ocean liners as well. If you're interested in boats or ships, and detecting as well, then crime, they should be of interest to you as well. And of course, our vegetable book that I just showed you. And if you have read My Father's Suitcase by Mary Garden, let me know what you think. I did not like it. I did not enjoy it. I did not get anything out of it. But let me know if you did. And let me know where I've gone wrong. If I have not read it correctly or if I've really taken it all out of context, do let me know. Okay, I'm hoping, a couple of things before we go. Don't forget the book competition. We will start that in October. So what is it now? It's July, August, September. So you've got a few months, but we'll start that in October and we will give you the 12 questions at the beginning of October, probably give you a couple of weeks because those questions entail you watching 6 of the book recommendations and 6 of the travel videos over the last year. So I will lead you to those travel videos. You won't have to watch every one of them that is on the channel. And we'll try and make it relatively easy, not too easy, but easy enough that it's not too much of a burden. And of course, 2 winners, one in the Northern Hemisphere, one in the Southern Hemisphere, and we will be buying a book within your genre and have it sent to you hopefully before Christmas. So that's exciting. Do spread the word. If you have enjoyed or you enjoy any video on this channel, whether it be the travel or the book recommendations, please do like, share and subscribe. It really does help the channel. It will eventually help me to bring more content to your home. Yeah, so that's that. And there was something else I was going to suggest. Oh yes, last Saturday, I uploaded 2 videos. They were actually part 1 and part 2 of a town called Heathcote. And I just wanted to remind everyone that there are 2 parts to that video. Their thumbnail is exactly the same, except it does have part 1 and part 2 on the respective videos. I have just noticed that some people have watched part 1, but not as many people have watched part 2, and I was worried that you wouldn't get the full picture of Heathcote if you don't view the second part of the video. Anyway, that having been said, I hope you have a great week. Good eating, happy reading, safe travels, and I will see you either on the Saturday's travel video or next Monday's book recommendations. And of course, we're starting the sneaky midweekers just once a month. So we've already had this month's, I think. There will be another sneaky midweeker in August, isn't it? Oh gosh, the time's just flying. I can't keep up with the days. I'm constantly looking at my diary, trying to remind myself what day we're on. Okay, that's it. I hope you enjoy your week. Take care. Bye for now.